Here we go again, another unscripted, unedited video of me just sharing about using other people's money to buy businesses. So let's have a bit of a chat. Let's have a bit of a yarn. The biggest thing that I should share around using other people's money is that most people, or what worries me, is that most people have the idea of buying a business, but they genuinely believe that they can't buy a business because they don't have the money or enough money. The reality is it's not the case. You see so many people do no money down deals. And I'm not saying that's fully possible, right? Theoretically it is, but it's better to have skin in the game. And I'm going to share with you some examples soon. And it's so much easier to have skin in the game. And yeah, you've got these people that think that they can't get into this investment class, and it's just a shame because there's other people with the exact same level of skills, sometimes less, that are just quietly buying businesses using other people's money. They're building wealth. They're buying back their time and stepping out of that rat race, which is what we're actually here for, right? And what I mean by this is like there's literally people that are like shift workers and just regular folk with regular job 9 to 5 that may have less skills than you that are buying businesses and not even using a bunch of money. They're using a fair chunk of other people's to do so. So most people never know really how simple this actually is. I'm going to share with you how, in theory, it is, simple. I'm not saying that this is easy because lenders, right? Lenders, banks, they make you jump through some serious hoops, but those hoops they're worth jumping through in my opinion. So you can have a better lifestyle, replace your income, do what you're actually here to do, right? So yeah, let me dive into sharing with you about other people's money. Okay, other people's money. Obviously, what is it? It's not a magic trick. It's not shady. It's literally the foundation of how most serious investors build wealth. And the reality is that they always say money is never really the problem. Now, it is a problem if you don't have it, and it's a problem if you don't know where to get it or how to get it. And also, you use the deal. You use the deal to be able to get the money as well, and you process and all that sort of stuff, which is what I want to share with you as well. So I guess let me just share a bunch of ways where you can get other people's money. Number one, SBA loans. If you're in the States, SBA 7A loan, you can use as 10% down deposit. Buying $1 million business, 100K. As an example, I prefer people to put a little bit more money and have a bit more skin in the game than that. Makes it easier because there's a lot of people buying businesses using SBA because it's pretty easy to get SBA. Makes it a competitive space buying businesses using SBA, especially in that $1 to $3 million range. Another way that you can use other people's money is in the deal itself is using seller financing, seller note. It's typically my favorite. Note that no, you're not going to do 50% seller financing at these ranges of 1 to 3 mil. It's maybe 10 to 15%, right? Maybe 20 depending on the deal. But if you're buying a business with SBA and doing seller financing, because it is an SBA pre-approved business, or you can buy it with SBA, a lot of people are probably going to be competing with it. And if you're going for a higher seller financing amount than another competitor, then you can be out of the game. Another way to get money is using outside, or let me share about, you've got seller financing, then you can also do earnouts as well, right? So earnout is the same as seller financing, but you're not paying interest really. Okay, so I kind of bundle them together. Also, earnouts typically don't really work, especially if you're using SBA or other financing. But if you're buying something that's a bit more tricky, has a bit more risk, and maybe the seller wants to roll some equity or keep some equity, earnout can work as well. It depends on the deal and the person selling the business. So there's those. Seller financing, earn-out, similar thing. Seller financing is a lot more likely to work out in a deal. And then, you've got investor capital, so outside money. We can talk about silent partners. They can be cash partners. You could even just use them as equity partners, like they could give you cash and they're buying a portion of equity in the business, or maybe they're just cash or silent investors where they just give you money and you give them a bit of a return each quarter, each year, or they're waiting for they get a bit of equity and they're waiting for an exit of you doubling the business or growing the business and then selling it. And that equity they invest, they get a bit of money for the sale. So let's talk about like the cash, like getting cash or a silent investor or somebody buying equity into the business prior to you buying, whilst you're buying the deal. Why is someone going to do that with you? First things first is they need to trust you, right? And you need to build trust. And how do you build trust? Because people typically don't just give you money because they love you. Maybe your parents, maybe some siblings and stuff like that, or a great friend, and they just want to help you out. But if they're giving you money, typically it's for an investment. And what helps them give you a reason to give you money is that they're investing in you, right? So you need to share with them how you can reduce their risk by investing in you, okay? So they can get the best return possible, because they're investing in you to work it and to investing in you to get a result. It's like a startup, right? Like a lot of people that are investing in a startup, they're not investing in like the business plan, because ChatGPT can make a business plan for anything at any day within a second, right? And there's no such thing as $1 million idea. I mean, ChatGPT can create those. It's really the person that makes $1 million is a great executor, and they don't even have to do the work themselves, right? I'll give you an example. In Bali, one of my friends had somebody speak to him at a party and say, I'm building out this gym. I'm looking for investors. If you're interested, I'll send you the pitch deck. He sent me the pitch deck because he's never invested in this way. And I said, look, it all makes sense. You can do that. Some of the numbers seem a bit inflated. Typically that is with the startup pitch deck. And then you've got the reality is that you're not investing in a business that's working because it's a startup. There's no proof of concept. What you're actually investing is investing in this human being. If you don't know who that human being is and they haven't proven to you their trust and expertise, then what are you investing in? So if you are looking to get investors for yourself and using other people's money, and typically the best structure to do that is for them to buy a portion of equity or give you cash for some sort of payout per quarter or per year, is you need to show them and convince the people that you're smart and that you're going to be a good operator and you're going to hire the right team. You need to show them that the investment is safe, right? The business you buy, you need to showcase them that due diligence is really good. You need to showcase them how much money the business is making, how you're going to grow the business and execute it. The people that you're going to hire in, the people you're going to use as growth and scale experts to grow the business. A lot of my clients use me. Also, you need to share with them the people that you're going to use and the team that you're going to build to acquire the business, not just you just working out, hey, I'm going to buy my first business and I'm going to do it myself. It's more about, hey, I'm going to buy a business. This is how much I can get for SBA. I'm going to put in X amount of money. If you want to put in X amount of money, this is how much I'll give you. This is my process and the team that I'm going to use. These are this finance broker, the lawyer that I'm going to use, the M&A advisor like myself to acquire the business. And then to scale the business, I might use a different mentor to scale the business. A lot of my clients use me and we scale the business, right? And they just piggyback off my expertise. They also piggyback off the expertise of the finance broker and the lawyer, and the investor can see, okay, you've got this put in a linear pattern and a linear path. I've got one of my clients that has done this where he's got a silent partner that's going to front I think it's going to be most of the capital for the deposit on acquisition and then use SBA as well. So should I just give you an example of how a deal structure like that actually works? I guess so. Why not? We're here having a yarn, having a chat. Let's just use like a $1 million e-commerce business as an example. Let's say you find $1 million e-commerce, or your goal is to buy $1 million e-commerce business. $1 million e-commerce business with a 3 multiple, it's going to be making about $330K a year in net profit, right? So let's talk about how to structure it. Maybe you put a 20% down payment. 20% down payment for this is $200K. So you put $200K down, and then maybe you get a little bit of seller financing, right? So you get $100K seller financing. So let's say $100K note. It could be performance based or whatever it is. And so that's $300K, right? You've got your $200K down payment, then your 10% seller financing, and then you can use the rest using SBA, right? Or investor capital, or whatever bank loan that you like. That's 70% finance from an external source. Now, how would you do this with little to no money? Like, say you've got, you could buy a business for $100K at a $1 million range, but it's going to be harder to do. Like I said before, you've got a bunch of other people buying businesses using SBA, and the people that put more deposit down, more cash in, are typically going to be the better buyers, and it's going to be safer for a seller to go with that buyer because they're more likely to get approved by lenders because there's more cash in the deal and it's easier, right? So it could be worth you buying still, say you got $100K and you really want to be successful at this, you maybe find an investor that wants to put in $100K themselves. And like I said before, they could buy equity in the business, or they could buy a return every quarter or every year. So say you put $100K in yourself and they put $100K in, that's your $200K deposit. Then you get your $100K seller financing, and then you get $700K from a lender. Okay. With that, for $100K, you own a $1 million business that's, say, making $330 net profit a year, which is about $27,000 a month. And then after debt payments, you're looking at about 18 grand per month in net cash. So with $100K, you're buying at $18K a month income, 18 month cash. Now maybe that's not you. That's on the seller. That's on an equity model of the investor who gives you $100K for the down payment. That's them buying equity, and then you just give them their equity back once you've sold the business, their portion of proceeds from the equity. Maybe there's a little bit, like maybe that's like $2,000 or whatever it is a month that they're getting back. So maybe you're at 15K or like 16K or whatever it is cash. But for $100K in, it's a pretty good way to go. So the biggest part here is like just getting investors to trust you, and selling them that's like you're the person that is going to be a really good operator, and you've got all the pieces of the puzzle solved, and you just need to put it all together. You've got all the pieces of the puzzle. It's not solved, but you just need to put it together, and you've got the right team that can help and guide you to do so. So like I said, building out your acquisition team, building out your acquisition strategy, sharing that with them, working out how you can just eliminate all risk and share with them that like, these are the risks, be honest about the risk and share how you're going to eliminate it. And being honest about that, they feel so much safer and their money's safer because you've got the plan that can decrease risk as much as possible with the right process and team, right? You don't want to wing it. You don't just want to be sloppy, get people's money and drive because maybe you're a good salesperson. You just convince them that they're going to get this return. Give them proof, right? Be a professional. Show them how it's going to be done. And yeah, what else do I need to say? Finally, using other people's money to buy a business, it's pretty common actually, especially with SBA. And you do see people that drum up cash together and go in and buy a business, and maybe it's just one operator. This is not unnormal. It's not unethical. the wealthiest people use other people's money, right? And so it's not something that, also it's not exclusive to just super wealthy people where they just know other wealthy people that are going to invest. Like, it's not reserved for billionaires and private equity. There's so many people doing it at the level of 10 million under. Okay. So simply, it's just you using leverage the way wealthy people do, and they've done it for centuries and continue to do so, but just on a different level than hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, right? And if anything, more money moves faster, I would say, at that range anyway. So yeah, winners, the investors, they understand risk, they respect risk. Make sure you understand that you need the right people on your team, the right process, build the trust, get the due diligence done, showcase it to the investors, and treat the investors like professionals as well. And that, having a good rapport, good communication with them is the most important thing. Let me know if you found this valuable. If you found it valuable, please give us the thumbs up and give me other questions that you have in the comments below, and let me help you more. See you guys.